Welcome to today's lecture on how to create and display a map using the ArcGIS Maps SDK for JavaScript. This lesson is very important because it contains important basics and will be the basis for the upcoming lessons. This session is designed for those who are interested in building interactive web maps and enhancing their web development skills. We'll begin with the basics of creating a map, setting up a base map layer, and customizing the map view to focus on a specific location. Learning objectives. By the end of this session, you will be able to understand the concept of maps and layers. 1. Learn how to work with geographic data layers and display them using base maps. 2. Create a map using ArcGIS SDK. Set up your development environment and write the code to create a basic map. 3. Display a map in a web interface. Learn how to display the map in a web browser using HTML and JavaScript. 4. Customize the map view. Learn how to set the location and zoom level to display a specific area on the map. Tutorial overview. A map contains layers of geographic data. A map contains a base map layer and optionally one or more data layers. You can display a specific area of a map using a map view and setting the location and zoom level. We will create a simple example to display a map of the Santa Monica Mountains in California using the topographic base map layer. There are some definitions related to our topic that we must understand well. Definition of layer. A layer is a reference to a collection of geographic data that can be accessed and displayed in a map or a scene. There are base map layers and data layers, and their format is either vector or raster. The data source for a base map layer is typically the base map layer service, and the source for data layers are data services, but could be a variety of different formats, including files, streams, databases, and others. Definition of base map layer. A base map layer is a layer or layers used to access and display data from a data source such as the base map layer service. It provides visual and geographic context for a map or scene and typically contains global data with administrative boundaries and place names. Base map layers can be composed of different sub-layers such as reference layers or label layers. Developers can choose from a variety of base map layers or style their own base maps with the ArcGIS Vector, Tile Style Editor, and overlay data layers with their own data on top of a base map. Developers can also create and publish their own base maps with ArcGIS Pro. Definition of data layer. A data layer is a layer that references geographic data from a file or a service and is used to visualize that data in a map or scene. Data layers are displayed on top of a base map layer. Data layers commonly reference data that is hosted and managed in ArcGIS. Some common types of data layer are feature layers, referencing a feature service, a geopackage, or a shapefile, KML layers, referencing a KML file, WFS layers, referencing data stored in an OGC WFS, and tile layers, which display tiles from a vector tile service or image tile service. Definition of map view and scene view. A map view is a user interface that displays map layers and graphics in 2D. It controls the area, extent of the map that is visible, and supports user interactions such as pan and zoom. A map view also provides access to the underlying map layer data. A scene view is a user interface that displays scene layers and graphics in 3D. It uses a camera to control the visible area, extent of the scene, and supports user interactions such as pan, zoom, tilt, and rotate. A scene view also provides access to the underlying layer data in a scene. Definition of map. A map is a collection of layers that are displayed in 2D. It is typically composed of a base map layer and one or more data layers. A map can be stored as a web map. Maps can also be stored in mobile map packages and displayed in online and offline applications. Definition of scene. A scene is a collection of layers that are displayed in 3D. It is typically composed of a base map layer of streets or satellite imagery, an elevation layer, and additional data layers from a wide range of sources, including scene services. Scenes can display real-world 3D object representations, such as buildings, trees, and vehicles. A scene can be saved as a web scene. Scenes can also be stored in mobile scene packages and displayed in online. We stop here and continue in the next lecture. Goodbye, my dears.